The Reserve Bank has kept the cash rate on hold at 4.1%, offering some relief to Australians with a mortgage, as well as those small businesses as well who have a loan, folks. We sometimes forget those, but the bad news is this could only be temporary. The RBA is expected to lift rates as soon as next month. The point being, so many people bleeding cash at the moment, not just homeowners, businesses too. Joining us live, Executive Chairman of Yellow Brick Road Home Loans, Mark Bouris. Yeah, just thought I'd keep making that point because we always talk about the homeowners and, yep, they are carrying so much of the burden, but the businesses are too. You've been very vocal on this, Mark, for good reason. First of all, what are your thoughts? 4.1 staying there for now.
4.1, well, that's what they should have done. I didn't predict that. I thought they might actually put it up given the data that was presented to them, but that's where I think they should stay. I take your point that you just made earlier, that business owners are probably going to suffer the most at the moment. And actually, when you read what some of the things that the Reserve Bank said exactly 1 week ago, they said that they expect unemployment to grow from 3.6% currently to 4.5% over the next 12 months. That's sort of making about 130 to 140,000 people without a job. That creates, in my opinion, an environment where not only those people are going to have mortgage stress if they're borrowers or rent stress if they're renters, but that's starting to create a new environment where Australia's unemployment numbers start to rise. And I think that's where the Reserve Bank wants to go. And to do that, you have to hit the business owners because they're the people who employ everyone. Yeah,
and have you changed your view on where this maxes out at? I mean, so many people have said 4.35% or 4.6%, depending on one or two rises. I mean, Warren Hogan even suggesting yesterday that maybe down the track we're talking about here, once the wage rises have filtered through to the economy, the RBA, whoever's in charge, we'll get to that in a second, may have to raise it to over 5%.
Well, if they take the view, and by the way, they being whoever the new person is in a couple of months, but if they take the view they must hit 2.3% in the short term, in other words, say between here and the end of next calendar year, then they will have to keep pushing rates up. But if they take a different view, a softer view, a more dovish view, that we're happy to get to 2 to 3% over time, maybe over a 2 or 3 year period, then perhaps I'd just sit there and wait and leave these interest rates sit there at the current levels instead of putting them up. But the money markets, Peter, now saying that we are more than likely going to get another rate rise, definitely one more rate rise in the next 2 months. Probably there's an even money chance, a 50% chance of 2 rate rises. But the money markets are also saying, they're often wrong too, by the way, but they're also saying that they expect to see somewhere between 3 and 5 rate reductions in a year's time.
Wow. So here's an interesting point then. I mean, people who are struggling at the moment, maybe, they're struggling with their mortgage. They might be looking at this going, okay, we're almost there. We're almost at the worst of it. All we've got to do is just ride out one more, then things are going to get easier.
Yeah, well, I think, and that's what I keep saying to everybody, try not to let this get you down. I know it's easy for me to say, but try not to let it get you down. What a lot of Australians too are doing, by the way, they're sort of jumping into the gig economy. So they're working for Uber and they're doing deliveries, and doing all sorts of things. Yeah, so people are making some more money. And what I would say to them is, look, it's going to be a punish, but you've got to hang in there, protect your house, protect your mortgage, protect your family, drop back on expenses, trying to get extra jobs, but you only need to probably hang in there for 12 months because I don't know, but the amount of money that Australians are borrowing relative to the historical sense and given the interest rates where they can't leave them high for very long. Yeah. And very long being 12 months, I think. So hang in there.
Yep. Hang in there. It's good. It's good advice. Jenny Wilkinson, that's our sources at the moment. I put this to the Prime Minister. He was a bit tight-lipped on this a short time ago, Mark. A few names he suggested as well, Kennedy in the mix too. But would she be a good replacement for Governor Lowe?
Well, she's academically a good replacement, got good economic experience in her various roles that she's working at the moment. My bet is, and I think this is going to be a political appointment anyway at the end of the day, even though it's supposed to be an independent body, but it is going to be appointed by Labor. So I'd say that whoever's got the best Labor values would more than likely, and to cover off all those Labor values, is probably the most likely person to be appointed. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it wasn't a female appointment, because we probably need to see a little bit more female prominence in these particular types of roles. But I'm also hearing Michelle Bullock, who's currently the Deputy Governor, is a good front runner, a really good chance. And I'm also hearing Kennedy as well in Treasury is a very good chance as well. So it's between those three. My gut feeling is it's going to be female, and it'll be someone who understands Labor values.
Okay. Good tip there from Mark Bouris. I mean, does it even matter, Mark? I mean, whoever comes in is going to get a hospital pass, right, from Philip Lowe, because their first meeting, they're going to have to jack the rates up.
Well, Peter, I'm going to look at it a different way. Whoever comes in might say, you know what, the previous guy did too many rate rises. I'm just going to let it sit and roll for a while. And in 12 months' time, I'm going to start putting rates down. When they start putting rates down, and we have the recession, we can blame the previous governor. We've got a recession, and they can start putting rates down and say, look what I've done. I've rescued Australia. Maybe that's a better way to look at it.
That's true. That's true. Good to see you, Mark, as always.